Corvette, we're not going to reveal.
Corvette has some,
yeah, he's going to work in capital ships is slightly different.
There, and he'll throw the name.
Although we can share the
we had a bunch
carrier
of
stats because that's actually built into the design.
Like Hades, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just that we didn't anticipate that would be such a hit with people. And so we have like 70 of them to design. So
Yeah.
nothing wrong with naming one after you. What's wrong with that? That's cool.
Thanks,
We should name one after you, Michael. We name it after Martin, but asshole was already taken. I was teasing, dude. Oh, come on. Okay, people, I'm teasing.
Want us to get in trouble with the FCC?
I don't care who you're talking about.
I was just totally kidding. Don't be all sensitive. Sorry.
You want to?
No, I'm good.
Ooh, a chair.
I'm good. And do you want to talk? So you worked on Thief.
Yeah.
And then
After Thief, I worked at Midway. I went to Midway and I worked on a game called Area 51. Actually, it was like a reboot of Area 51. It was like part 2.
Arcade cabinet, or was it for an arcade cabinet? Or
No, it was. So that was the classic IP, and then they rebooted it for PS2 at Midway.
Okay.
And then they hired me to come in and run the second game, but it only lasted like 6 months.
Okay.
Because the numbers didn't work out. And then after that, I got to work as an outsourcing art director on a bunch of different games with Area 51 Blackside, which was an Xbox 360 game.
Were you at the Midway in Chicago, or were you?
No, the Midway here in Austin.
Okay.
I pretty much moved to Austin for Origin out of college, and then I never left.
Okay.
So I've been here ever since.
So where were you when you got the call from Mr. Roberts to say, "Come back, we got something going"?
Yeah. Well, after Midway, I started my own company, and that's pretty much all we do is art for video games. And I've always kind of kept in contact with Chris, but yeah, he needed some help, and I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Love video games, and I love spaceships.
Is he working as a contractor now, or is he working as an employee?
A contractor, I guess. So I've got a company called CGBot, and it's 70 people altogether, but probably 60 some artists.
And you're going to be doing art with Chris Ryan and.
So part of the way we're setting it up is that the core team is probably not going to be more than 40 to 50 people, and that's even going to be spread out between some locations. And then we're also built to scale up. So like the art's a big place where you can sort of scale. So we have a whole workflow. So the past year when we were building this demo and the prototype in sort of a kind of under the radar fashion, a lot of the work, besides doing the technical work, was also figuring out the workflow to how to create and build ships that were this complicated and had this much detail. So that's when we sort of figured out the workflow and did this also offline. And what's nice about it is now that we've gone and done it, we sort of kind of know how long it takes to do each ship or each type of ship, but they're very different. So a fighter is very different amount of effort than the carrier. I mean, the carrier was insane.
Effort.
That is the most complicated sort of ship that will be in the game. There may be one other one of the same level, which would be like a Vandal one, would be like the opposite number of it. But that was 5. I mean, we were still finishing off the carrier. We've still got stuff to do on the interior. And we still got to up-res it. So when we started, Ryan Church finished his portion of it in sort of mid-May, I think. He modeled out the exterior and then started to model the interior, the flight deck, and the rooms. We passed it over. So we started, I think, at the very beginning of May.
Right.
And when I did my demo on the 10th of October, we still have plenty of stuff to do, and we're still working on some stuff now. So, and it wasn't one person working on it.
No, it was a whole team of people working on it, and it was. I mean, it's a big ship. It's very big, and it's so big, and you see it in concept, and you're like, oh yeah, we can do that. But it's huge. It's got a lot of detail. So we spent a lot of
What, a
time.
kilometer in length or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
it's
and it's modeled out to the fidelity that the fighters modeled out to, which is only 27 meters in length. So,
Right.
so yeah, so that's probably the biggest challenge. I think we've got a pretty good workflow, but part of the way we're setting it up is that you have a core team, and that even that core team is siloed. So we have people that all they're going to do is focus on, say, the ship systems, and people will focus on the team that does the first person combat, and the team that does the back end MMO service stuff, and the team that does the planet stuff. That way you have small teams of people, so their tasks are contained and they can work and communicate together well. Because whenever you get big, like one of the problems with big publisher teams, you essentially have 200 or 300 people, because at the very end you need all those people to just try and get it out the door. But at the beginning of it, for the first year, year and a half, or even 2 years of your work, you don't really need all those people, but they can't really go and do something else because you're going to need them, so they sort of kind of hang around waiting to be used. So what ends up happening is that's one of the reasons why, say, EA makes a game and it'll cost as much money, because they've got this huge group on staff. And so what we're trying to do, one of the reasons why we're delivering the level of the game we're delivering, it's for a decent amount of money, but it's still, if EA was doing it, it would be twice as much, or Activision was doing it twice as much, is because we're sort of doing a combination of a core team that also knows each other and works well together, and also scalable resources in a sort of movie fashion. So one of the things that on the CG bot side is, because we've gone through the process, so at our height we'll definitely have more than 40 or 50 people working on the project, but it won't be 200 or 300 people all the way through, because if it was, this game would be costing a lot more than it's going to cost.
Well, going back to the Pulse D, it's a kilometer in length. What takes the longest in the process? Is it designing the ship, or doing the texture art for it, or what takes the most?
Well, definitely building the ship. So Ryan does a concept. He does it in 3D, but he just kind of slaps together a bunch